Welcome back to Chiang Mai. Time for the men to get into action now, and we've got the men's 85-kilogram category. A few big names once again to look out for, and we should see a pretty good contest here. One of the names that you'll be familiar with, Georgie Markov down there from Bulgaria, but in a slightly different weight category to the one that he used to be in.
Yes, I think the man to look at here is Rybakov. He's the snatch world record holder and the reigning champion, and I'd be very, very surprised if anybody could do anything today to beat that man. Yes, Mikey Markov, interesting actually. He won the Olympic Games 2 Olympics back as a 69-kilo lifter, lifting roughly what he's lifting as an 85-kilo lifter, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. And there you see Rybakov with his world record standing at 186. In fact, the junior world record is his as well, 182.
Yershov, though, first out at 170. Got a few characters in this category. It should be an interesting competition.
Yes, Yershov pretty good in this phase of the competition, but in previous years really hasn't shined in the clean and jerk, so has always been fairly low down the order.
Oh, fantastic strength once again. It's so impressive to see these guys in action.
Yes, 85-kilo men. That's about 13¼ stone. Just to sort of give you an idea of the size, they'd be about 5'8", 5'9", these guys. And that 170 kilos, 380 pounds. So Insit of Turkey. Turkey had a 2-year ban that they're just coming back off of, and all of their athletes, actually, without exception, seem to have come back quite a bit under par.
It's about restoring credibility. This guy's got a chance. No. Frustrations continue for the Turkish team. Never looked comfortable. Is it Ince?
Yes, and he finishes on 165, which is way down on his best. So Turkey struggling. I'm just wondering if you know, with a little bit of time between now and the Olympics, if they can pull themselves together. Funny enough, earlier in the year, the Bulgarian team in the European Championships were not looking too good, but they seem to have pulled themselves together, and they're winning some medals here. But this is Idiev. Now, he came second in last year's World Championships, so and he's quite and I shouldn't say it, but he's quite old to be
he's veteran
racing that high. I mean, the guy's 37 years old, so these are pretty amazing lifts for a guy of that age, and a second place in the World Championship last year is pretty amazing.
Well, experience and technique will count for a lot, but I'm afraid it didn't help him on that occasion. Yes, then. One attempt left for him. Well, he looks 37, David. I don't want to be disparaging towards the young man, but great to see him out and still competing.
So this, Markov, Bulgaria, as I said, much better results in the 69 and actually the 77-kilo class. Not quite sure why they've got him lifting at 85. Perhaps he likes his food. Unfortunately,
that is entirely possible.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the extra body weight doesn't seem to have resulted in extra strength. But nevertheless, bar now on 172 kilos, and this could actually give him a medal. Remember, there are individual medals in World and European Championships, a medal for the snatch, jerk, and the total. And we'll be talking a little bit more about that later. So, good lift.
Really solid. Excellent technique, and it just shows you what a phenomenal athlete he was back down in the 69-kilogram category.
Yes, actually holds the world record at 69 kilos with a snatch of 165. So just 7 kilos less than this, weighing 2 stone lighter. I have to say, he looked amazing. His physique looked amazing when he was 69. I mean, he was just veins and stomach. He was just all veins and stomach muscles. I mean, yeah, absolutely in fantastic shape.
So next up, Chezimov from Uzbekistan. Incredible how, with the dissolution of the Soviet Union, all these different coaches moved across to their respective nations and now are producing lifters.
Yes, already succeeded on 168, so 4 kilo jump. No, just didn't get enough height on that. Nothing wrong with it, apart from the fact it's just too heavy. So stays on 168, which I'm sure is not going to be enough to put him in the medals.
Tough for the coaches, tough for the athletes. Look like may have just tweaked his left hip as well. Now this man, Aslanbek Ediev.
He looks tough, doesn't he? Someone's broken his nose for him at some point. So he looks hard, this man.
Yeah, you wouldn't argue with him. Now let's see if he can.
I'm telling him what you said.
Please don't.
He looks old for 37.
Please don't. So everyone rooting for this man,
the veteran.
Go on. Oh, super stuff. Ediev with a fantastic lift. 172 kilos for the Russian, and that has rather put the cat amongst the pigeons in this snatch competition. Plenty more to come, I suspect. And we'll be back with the big guns, including Rybakov, after the break. Welcome back to Chiang Mai. Just chatting about relative training methods and weights away on the break.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit insignificant after listening to all those big weights that
I was lying.
Training.
I was lying, I can assure you. Liu then for China. You just feel the pressure that these Chinese lifters are under ahead of Beijing. I mean, it's the case for all of their athletes, but this is a huge year for them.
Well, what you'll notice with the Chinese is that in the women's, they win just about everything. In the men's, they're very, very good in the lighter classes, but as they get heavier, then Europe and the rest of the world start taking over. So, I mean, this man has snatched 168, going here for 173, which he knows is going to probably put him into the medals in the snatch phase. But really not gaining enough height on the bar, and he doesn't actually look. I mean, he doesn't inspire confidence as he's walking off the platform, does he? He looks like a man whose warm-up probably didn't go quite how he wanted it to, and he's not having the day that he wants. And I'm sure the Chinese are under immense pressure at the moment.
Well, he never got into that lift at all, and when a lifter's shouting that much before they actually attempt it, you know they're trying to get themselves into the zone, and it just didn't happen.
I'd be interested to know what the I mean, I would assume the regime in China now is probably as close to the sort of old communist regime as you could get, and I'm sure there's a lot of things going on in China.
In terms of the training setup, it's going to be very focused.
I'll give you a statistic. You know, they've got more weightlifters in China than the rest of the world put together. It's a very, very popular sport in China, and they've got a massive talent pool.
Oh, it's incredible to be able to draw from that. Yeah, what a wonderful setup for the coaches.
One of the interesting things about it, which must be horrible actually if you're Chinese, is that in the women's group, I looked at the Chinese championships and I put it next to the world championships, and almost without exception, the top 10 girls in the Chinese championship, any one of them could have won the world championships. So in the Olympic Games, they're going to be sending one of those athletes, and 9 of them are going to be sitting at home knowing they could have either won or at least got a silver and a bronze, and they've got to watch somebody else do it.
But that kind of brutal training system, that kind of situation, produces champions. Will it produce a lift for Liu that he needs? He's competing way above really what his standards are. 173. Didn't get anywhere near to his first attempt. Same again on the second, and there was no real conviction about that at all, David.
No, he's going to have to stay on that 168, and I think he's going to have to just sit back now and watch the others draw away from him.
Clean and jerk still to come. It must be very frustrating for athletes that can't link those two things together as well as they might. Now, this guy looked in super form, didn't he, with his first lift? Markov, he was dismissive.
Yes, the 172 looked very strong, and you would think with the extra body weight that you'd be able to put this away.
Well, he strides on there with the look of a champion. That's some tattoo he's got as well.
Was it a bulldog?
Yeah, it looks like a pit bull or something like that. Frightening.
Yeah, I bet he did that when he was... oh, yeah, there we go. I bet that happened one night when he'd had a few too many.
At least it hasn't got Mum written under it. Oh, no. Oh, he was so close as well. He knew he had that. That's why he's frustrated. Got some good height on it, didn't he?
Yeah, the lift was there, and unfortunately his technique and his concentration let him down just at the last minute. Was
it almost too much to control?
Yeah, and I think the coaches say it all. So 3 reds and a collar, which signifies an increase to 175 kilos. And this should be for Yershov. In fact, he's got 2 lifts left, Yershov. Already succeeded with 170. He was 4th, actually, in last year's World Championships. So he was fairly high up the order, but not quite in the medals. If he manages to snatch this, he'll certainly be in the snatch medals anyway.
27-year-old from Kazakhstan. Just locking that thumb underneath the grip.
Yes, using the hook grip. All athletes use that. Some of the smaller Chinese men and some of the women grow their thumbnails long, so they've got more to hold on to. So that was unfortunately a failure, but he does have one more attempt to put it right, and then there's just one man left in this competition. That's Rybakov, the existing or reigning world champion and world record holder in the snatch lift.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing him in action.
It's interesting, the snatch world record stands at 186. That was set in 2006. The clean and jerk record stands at 218 and was set in 1998. So we're 9 years on and that record hasn't been broken. When the weight classes were changed, they had something set called a world standard, and the world standard on the total in this class is 395, and as yet nobody's reached it.
Amazing stuff. Well, we're going to see Rybakov, but not quite yet, because Yershov deciding to go again at 175. It was just as he came away, they're just complaining to the coach about his right shoulder. But funny how things hurt when the lift doesn't go well.
Very, very easy to injure yourself. I mean, throughout this week, we've had a lot, well, we've had 3 elbow dislocations. 2 guys and 1 girl, and it doesn't look good. You know, all in the low snatch positions. The elbow dislocates and kind of swings around underneath. And the 2 guys walked off in obvious pain and were rushed to hospital to get the elbows put in. But the woman, she sort of hit the deck and was down there for a good few minutes before they actually stretchered her off. Absolutely horrendous to see. So, as you say, locking in and getting ready to attack this weight of 175 kilos. So we're up around 390 pounds. And remember, These guys aren't just picking this up off the floor, they're throwing it up over their head. So imagine the kind of power that's required to do that, to get that weight moving that fast. Unfortunately, he doesn't quite have the power to take it to straight arms, so he finishes on 170 and walks off looking rather disappointed, because he knows that would have been at least a silver medal. Because the only man left in now is the world record holder, Rybakov, and he will now follow himself. And I suppose the good thing for Rybakov is that because he's following himself, this first lift of 180 would give him the gold medal, which means he would then have 2 lifts to, if you like, attack his existing world record. So get this in, gold medal, pressure's off, opportunity to go for a world record, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, and it's not an intermediate consolidation lift, is it? It's straight for gold, and that's where the motivation is. And then, well, I do hope we get to see him have a crack at that record, but it's all about how he lifts on this first one. We'll see what sort of form he's in. Certainly looks very comfortable. There's no messing about, straight into it.
Yes, 180 kilos, 396 pounds. So we're knocking on the door of 400 pounds here. These men weighing just over 13 stone. And look at the speed with which that bar moves.
Beautiful. That's just phenomenal.
So 400 pounds over the head within, well, less than a second.
It's frightening weight when you put it in those terms, David. It is absolutely frightening.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you obviously do weight, so you can kind of relate to it. But I mean, I don't know if you've ever deadlifted 180 kilos, just sort of picked it up off the floor. But I mean, if you've ever tried it, you'll realise the kind of power, strength, base strength and power that it takes to move that weight at speed. Because it's moving it at speed is very different to just picking it up off the floor, as you can understand.
It's painful as well. It just shows you the sort of conditioning that these guys have put themselves through. And with that successful lift, the confidence is going to be sky high now for Rybakov. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see him have a crack at his own record.
Well, he's got 185. Now, I can understand him doing that, because he's not known for his strength in the second phase. He's a snatch specialist. So he's probably taking the 185 and, to just build a little bit more of a gap between him and the other competitors. And then I think on the last lift, providing he does this, they'll allow him to do whatever he wants, really. It's interesting, actually. The snatch is an interesting lift. In 1980, they were recording speed of movement in all sporting events, and the fastest athlete in the 1980 Olympic Games, which was in Moscow, was a guy called Daniel Nunes, and he was a 56 kilo lifter who snatched 125 kilos, and it was the fastest recorded movement of the Games.
Brilliant. Well, not quite as fast that time round, and a little stagger at the end, but there it is. And not only has he got the gold in the snatch, but he's also put a bit of distance between himself and the other competitors come the clean and jerk. So really good tactics and very well executed by Rybakov.
Yes, at the moment he's got 13 kilos between him and the master Ediev of Russia. And of course, still one attempt left. Now he surely must be going to 187. I can't see him going 186 to equal the record.
And if he lifts it successfully, what does it mean for Rybakov?
Well, it means a lead of 15 kilos and a new world record.
I'll take that. Very nice. Looks good. Magic. That's a Watts moment, if ever I saw one. Both the coaches leaning right over, and that had something to do with how far the weight went back, and incredible shoulder strength to control that.
So, as we thought, 187. So this, if he succeeds with this, it'll be the first world record of this competition so far.
Well, it's always good to have a bit of history being set on Eurosport, and we could be about to see another bit here being written into the books. Well, he said he was good, David, and he's lived up to it.
So 415 pounds for a guy that weighs well under 200 pounds. 85 kilos. That's 186 pounds. So it just puts it into perspective.
Well, if these boys lean any further, they're going to fall over. The coaching staff well into this. This for a new world record. Rybakov to break his own existing mark. Looks good. Oh, yes. Fantastic stuff, and what a start to this competition. We had to wait for a while for this man to come to the stage, but it was well worth the wait.
Yes, so Rybakov is the leader after the snatch by a huge margin of 15 kilos, and in second place it's just looking at the body weight. So it's Ediev actually, yeah, because he weighed in 84.18, and then in third place it's Mikey Markov, also with the same weight, but he was slightly heavier. And there we go, confirmation on the board there. So Rybakov, almost unassailable leader there, going to be a tough man to beat in the clean and jerk.
Job's only half done though. Bit more work and very hard work to come. We got the clean and jerk after the break for the men's 85 kilogram category, and another chance to see Rybakov in action. Medals though still to be decided. Gold not a foregone conclusion, as indeed silver and bronze aren't either. More to come, stay with us. What a competition we've got going here. Fantastic stuff, and after the snatch, Rybakov proving himself to be top of the pile, but clean and jerk next up. That's the start list with the relative body weights, which will come into play as this goes on. We'll see a couple of little battles, I'm sure, between some of those guys as this develops for the medals, but Rybakov at the moment, David, clear favourite.
That's right. It's one thing I just need to mention. Earlier on in the day in the B category, we had two athletes. Now, they're not going to feature in the total because basically they were not very good in the snatch phase, but they were very, very strong in the clean and jerk phase. And I think it's worth actually saying what they lifted earlier on in the day, because it could feature in this competition. So we're looking at two athletes, a man from Cuba called Valadez, who actually managed to do a clean and jerk of 201, and the Colombian Oliver Ruz, who managed to clean and jerk of 205 kilos. So if you just bear that in mind, 201 by Valadez, 205 by Oliver Ruz, and that'll just give you an idea of the placings in this clean and jerk competition. So until somebody actually clean and jerks 206, Oliver Ruz is the gold medalist in the clean and jerk. As I said, just to go through that again, they weren't strong in the snatch, so they're not going to feature in the total, but in terms of clean and jerk medals, you need to really have those in the back of your mind.
Some lifting in the B category. Now, first out, is it Ince?
This is Ince, yes. Remember, very poor in the snatch, didn't do very well at all, and unfortunately isn't doing very well in this. Just come off a 2-year ban, and like the rest of the Turkish team, not the man he was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, not working for them at the moment. We saw a brief graphic while you were talking, David, about that 1998 clean and jerk world record from Chang. That's sensational, isn't it, that it still stands?
Yes. Yeah, and this man, he attempted 175 in the snatch to get that medal, and it didn't come off. Starting here on a fairly conservative clean and jerk for him, actually. So earlier you were saying he was rubbing his shoulder. Maybe maybe he's done something, and he's coming in on a conservative weight just to try and sort of get a mark on the board, really, and try and get some points for his country in the Olympic qualification.
Conservative weight being relative, of course. This is still big.
Well, it's still 420 pounds, but when you consider that Rybacek almost snatched this weight.
Good effort. Yershoff with a very workmanlike performance. Clearly things not quite right for the big man, but he's keeping his challenge together for Kazakhstan.
So Ince is going to have to repeat. Yeah, it's interesting, this whole sort of drug thing. A lot of people for many years, I mean, obviously I've been doing weightlifting for nearly 30 years now, and you know, we've always had drug testing from whenever I can remember, and I've always been random tested, and you know, I think weightlifting's had a rather bad press because it's been so strict with its athletes and it's done so much testing. And I think you know, not until recently people haven't realized that, you know, people have now started realizing that actually people take drugs in all sports, and it's only now that they're actually starting to do more tests across the board that they're realizing this.
Well, what we can say for weightlifting is that it's a sport that stands up and is counted. Stringent testing, and if you're caught, you're banned. Ince coming back strong for Turkey, and that's what this Turkish team needs to do, and they need to do it in a short space of time.
Look at what they did to the Turks. They tested them before the European Championships two years ago in Bulgaria. WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association, came in and caught 6 team members, and the result of that was not just those 6 team members got banned. The whole team got banned. Everybody was banned, which, you know, in some ways you could say, well, it's not really fair, because if my brother murders somebody, you know, why do I have to go to prison as well? But that's the line they take.
It's tough love, isn't it? Keeps the sport in line. And all the competitors getting ready to come out. It's early phases of this clean and jerk at the moment, but next out, big name, Georgie Markov.
Yeah, it's interesting, actually. Some years back, weightlifting actually introduced a life ban, and none of the other sports would follow suit. So we changed it again in line with other sports and made it 2 years.
Well, this man moving his career along to make sure that he can stay in the sport, gone up in the weight category as you would expect for an athlete as he gets older, and still tactically very clever in the way that he's lifting, giving himself chances. Did look in good shape in the snatch. What's he look like in the clean and jerk? Not quite as fluid through the first phase, but that's good enough. We're seeing some excellent lifting from some of the experienced guys in this competition. Markov, the latest big name onto the stage, 193 kilos successful. And this clean and jerk competition just starting to warm up very nicely indeed. More to come after the break. We're getting quite excited about this competition. It's starting to develop nicely. Let's hope for something more from Liu. Very disappointing for the Chinese athlete in the snatch.
Yes, finished down 168, fell twice with the 172, which would have been a medal lift. Now coming in on 195, and just to point out again, a couple of men from the B group. Oliver Ruse still leading in the clean and jerk phase with 205, and the Cuban Valadez in second place with 201. It's a shame we haven't got footage of those.
It must have been very good lifts. Certainly put this A group under some pressure. Liu then. Okay.
See, this is one of the problems with the medals for each lift. You know, in the Olympic Games, it's a medal for the total. So you know that the people you're watching in the final are the people that are winning the medals. The trouble when you've got individual medals, you know, you could have somebody who's very, very good at the snatch, but not very good at the clean and jerk. So they could actually, so their total isn't very good, which means that they end up in the B group. But because their snatch was really strong, they end up getting a medal, and then you don't end up seeing them on TV. And it also changes the dynamic as well, because if you've got somebody that is very good in one particular lift, they think, well, I'll do all my training on that lift.
Well, yeah, it was
so that I can get at least one medal.
Yeah.
So it changes the dynamic. You know, I think they'd be much better off just having it as the total. Then the people that you see are the people that actually win all the medals, and it changes the dynamic of the competition. It makes it a lot more interesting.
First look at Stralsou. Next out onto the stage from Belarus. Took him a long time to get that stable. Very good through the first phase.
Yes, now he snatched 170 kilos, so he didn't actually get a medal in the snatch, but he could actually feature in the overall. Looked very, very strong on that first clean and jerk of 195, and he's still sort of up there, because if you remember, all right, okay, the leader is the leader. You know, he's 15 kilos ahead of everybody, but you know, we've got Idiev on 172, and we've got Markov on 172. Markov didn't look that convincing on his first clean and jerk, so I think that Stralsou of Belarus could be dangerous in terms of the overall.
Huge shout from Chasamov of Uzbekistan as he gets ready for this lift. Solid enough with his first.
Yes, only got 168 on the snatch to carry forward, though. So really playing catch me up. Not that convincing. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good lift. I mean, strictly speaking, it's a no lift. There was a bit of a press out there, but again, inconsistent refereeing. You know, in this case, they thought, oh, we'll give it to him anyway. You know, you can guarantee that later on somebody will do a lift that won't be quite as blatant, and then they'll get 3 reds. It's that inconsistent. And I moan about it every year, but I think it's because I'm a weightlifter, and I don't like to see people lose medals because of bad refereeing decisions.
Especially when there's an opportunity to remove that subjectivity from the judging, as you said, by if you get it above your head and it's there,
you stand still,
away you go.
What's the problem? Much better for the public as well, because you know the public are going to enjoy the sport. A, it needs to move pretty quick, so I would actually have less competitors in the A final. B, I think you need to get rid of the medals for this, medals for that, medals for the other, because it's confusing for people. And then I think you just, if someone gets it above their head and stands still, give them the lift.
195 then, Yershoff, his second lift of this competition. We thought he started conservatively, just to make sure that he got something under his belt, but he looked very good. Oh, there it is, there's the problems. Well, if it's not his shoulder, it looks like a knee or an ankle.
Yeah, well, we could see he was definitely struggling in the first phase, wasn't he? That 175 kilos. You know, he was having problems. So he came in conservatively on 190, and it looked okay actually. But now he's been put under a little bit of pressure, just an extra 5 kilos, and we can see the reasoning behind the coaches bringing him in on 190. So pretty sensible, I would say, because if they'd have brought him any higher, he would have been struggling to make a total.
Yeah, it's a tactic that, at least in the short term, will pay off. We've got Izidin's next out. And Yershoff will follow himself. So the Turkish lifter will have to wait. His timing has started. That short gap between the 2 lifts, and I can tell you that flies by. When you're waiting to go on, a minute 30 is nothing.
Yeah, and I can tell you actually what's happened is that Yershoff his coaches have taken him up to 196 kilos to buy him some time, and so that means that Ince will be out first, followed by Yershoff with the same weight.
Well, they took their time about that decision. Certainly kept the judges on their toes.
Yes, they often do it because it's so difficult to follow yourself if you've had a hard lift, and he's clearly got some kind of injury problem there. So I think what they've said is, well, you know, 1 kilo doesn't make that much difference. You know, give him the rest, give him time to get himself together, and he's probably got more chance. Otherwise, he'd have had to come straight out.
Izidin's better effort in the clean and jerk than we saw from him in the snatch, but still had 1 failure.
Yeah, I have to say the Turkish in general are just not looking good. They're looking tired. You know, they're failing lifts. They're starting with, you know, lifts that are almost right on their limit, and they're nowhere near the lifts they did a couple of years ago. So the Turkish camp really struggling all round, and I'm not sure if the next year they're going to be able to sort things out.
Yeah, they may not have long enough ahead of Beijing. So clearly the Turkish program with problems.
And their great star Halil Mutlu, who's won 3 Olympic Games. No weightlifter's ever won more than 3 Olympic Games in a row. Several have done it. No one's ever managed the 4th. And you know, the big favourite was well, originally Naim Suleimanoglu, but he didn't do it. Managed 3 and took quite a long time out from weightlifting. Tried to come back and didn't succeed. So his training partner Mutlu also won 3, and he's sort of originally one of the big favourites to take the 4, but after the 2-year ban and not competing here because of an injury, one wonders whether or not he's going to be able to do it.
Yershoff then, and talking of doubt, well, he's through that phase very nicely. No sign of the troublesome knee, but he doesn't want to go. Doesn't want to go at all. It's got to be right in your head, hasn't it, David? Otherwise, you're just not going to attempt this sort of weight.
Yeah, everything. When you're at your limit, everything's got to be right. If you've got a little niggle in there, or you've got a bit of doubt, then you know, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, Yershoff out then.
Okay, so the bar now goes to 200 kilos. That's 440 pounds for this man, Kamat-Zinn. And it's his first attempt. But we still have Oliver Roos leading on the clean and jerk with his 205, and Valadez still maintaining that second place with 201.
Just 165 for Kamat-Zinn in the snatch. Really has to go some in the clean and jerk, but looks very, very competent. Looks in good shape.
Yeah, it's much stronger in the clean and jerk than the snatch. Yeah, too far down the order really to get into the overall medals. But again, you know, a possibility of a medal on the clean and jerk.
Just a reminder, Ruiz and Valadez with their respective lifts, 201, 205 kilos. That's the standard that these guys have to beat. Fascinating target to have been set by the B group. And now the man of the moment, truly sensational in beating his own world record, Rybakov. But as you pointed out, David, this not the same specialism in the clean and jerk.
No, I mean he's the world record holder in the snatch, but he's way down on that 218, and you know, he's coming out fairly early in the clean and jerk. He does have that 15 kilo lead though, and I would think that this first lift won't give him the gold on the clean and jerk. It's certainly going to give him the gold on the total, because it's going to take him straight to 387 kilos. That's just 8 kilos below the world standard at 395. So again, no one has beaten that yet, but maybe this man will have a go today.
Well, that certainly looked good. Always nice to come out, put your first lift in, come away with no damage done. And that didn't look to have expended too much energy on this one either. That is super lifting.
Yes, there was at one stage he was snatching 180 and only clean and jerking 190. So he's really had to work hard to bring that clean and jerk up. So the man who you called old looking.
I don't remember that at all, David.
I must admit, he is actually 3 years younger than you, and he's 6 years younger than me. And I mean, I'm not blowing my own trumpet or anything, but he does actually look quite a lot older than me, not that much older than you.
Ediev's been around the block, but it's helping him in this competition. Brilliant stuff. Great to see him out there entertaining us and the crowd, and that's more good lifting. Ediev's giving himself a serious chance of a medal here.
Yes,
don't think he's going to go past Rybakov, but he certainly could be on the podium.
Well, he was in second place last year, behind Rybakov, funnily enough. So
got to have some serious motivation though to still be going in the sport at this age.
Oh yeah,
a desire that burns very strong. But if you're lifting that well, you should be competing, and that's it.
So bar stays at 200 kilos for this man. Now remember, he snatched 170, so this is going to be pretty useful, because it's going to put him into third place on the total behind Ediev.
So starts off for Belarus.
Yeah, so this is going to be a pretty useful lift. Okay. I mean, there are a lot of lifts to come, but you know, it's going to put him there in third place, and the others have got to come out and do more. Nice. Just needs to get those feet in line and stand still, which he does.
Good lift. Put himself in with a serious chance of a medal as well. And that's what we like to see. A few names in the mix at this stage of the competition.
Yeah, it puts him on 370. He weighed in pretty light. He was only 84.29, and that actually could be significant. So I think the bar is staying at 200 kilos.
Chashimov of Uzbekistan next out. Nazarbek Chasharov.
He's only snatched 168. So This would actually put him into 4th place should he be successful. Shouting from the sidelines.
Oh, unlucky.
Good effort.
Got stuck in a very unusual position there and held it for quite a long time. But no damage done, or is it? No, he's struggling as he walks away from the stage. And countries like Uzbekistan, limited budgets, limited number of athletes as well in terms of the talent pool. Really important they perform at the big championships, and second time this evening that the coaches have been disappointed.
So I think the bar is going to move to 201.
It's going to sneak up, isn't it, in this competition?
Now this man, this is Valeru. Now he was first in the European Championships earlier this year in Strasbourg, being coached there by Niku Vlad, Olympic champion in 1984. This man's known for his strength in the clean and jerk. He was 7th in last year's World Championships, but as I say, he does come here as the reigning European champion.
Valerio Calencia, just 26 years of age, from Romania.
Yeah, so this lift of 201 to go with his snatch of 166 will put him in 4th place at the moment on the overall, but it won't actually give him a medal. Actually, no, it will. No, it will actually put him into 3rd place on the medal tally at the moment. But of course, there's still many more lifts to come. Valadez is ahead of him because of his lighter body weight, and of course, Oliver Roos managed to clean and jerk with 205, so he's ahead by virtue of lifting more weight.
Well, pretty rangy athlete, Calencia, and you can see that in his technique, but 201 kilos on the board. And we got a nice scrap developing for the medals. More to come after the break. Right, a key phase of the competition then to come. Lifters moving into territory that's around about the maximum weights for them. We've got a few guys that have very good personal bests still left in the clean and jerk. But this next part of the competition is going to be about who can make the lift. If you make it, then you are probably in with a shout at a medal. But not a lot of convincing lifters to come out. Markov.
Well, this would put Markov on 373, which would actually put him into 2nd place on the overall. So it's an important lift for him. The coaches have chosen wisely and carefully. The question is, can he deliver?
And there's your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all committed to that 2nd phase. So Markov with a grimace, but he's been there and seen it and done it. So don't really have to. You don't have to worry about coaching athletes at this elite level, do you, David? They do their own assessments. He'll be reflecting as he comes off the stage. He knows what he did wrong. Just a case of helping them along and getting them mentally prepared for next time up.
Yeah, I think you need to choose the weights though, because I think you can get the ego can take over a little bit. I mean, I competed in Commonwealth Games in 2002, and I mean, the reality is shouldn't have actually won it, really. But the Indian failed the drug test, which obviously, you know,
always helps.
Counted him out, and you shouldn't do it. But the Australian that I was competing against was you know, actually, you know, if I'm being honest, was the better man on the day, and all he needed to win was 170 kilos. But he did what we've all done. You know, he got the ego thing going. India was going out on 175, so he went out on 175, fouled it 3 times. You know, so sometimes, and obviously his coaches are not strong enough to go, look, you know, we've got 3 lifts here, 170 wins, then you've got 2 lifts, you can do whatever you want. So he'd obviously said, no, I'm going out on 175, and you know, I've done it before, and it's never the right thing to do. Always look at the board and take the minimum weight that you need to get the job done. Otherwise, it's just ego.
Trash him off. Ego about this gentleman. He knows he's struggling at this weight. He's hanging on for dear life. Well, he's done well to stay in, but he's not got a grip on that bar at all. He's going to fight that all the way. Well done. But I'm afraid not in time.
I'm not quite sure why. I'm not quite sure why the buzzer went there, though. There was no infringement of the rules. He didn't run out of time. I mean, he took 2:02 because he actually wanted to get into the medals on the clean and jerk and draw level at 370 on the total. Now I'm just looking at the body weight there. Would that have actually?
Yeah, he's 84.
Yeah, that would have actually put him into third place on the total. So there was the reasoning behind. He missed 200, but there was the reasoning behind going for the 2:02. And again, you know, you might say it's a heavier weight, but again, it's like the Chinese girl. You know, it's a heavier weight, but it's got more meaning to it. And when something's got meaning, we always put more effort in.
Markov then to try and recover his situation.
Well, he's also done the same. He's also gone to, although slightly less sensible, because actually 199 kilos would have put him into third position. So he's taking a higher weight than he actually needs.
Yeah, 193.
You know, 2:02. He doesn't need 2:02. I mean, this would put him into second place. So the gamble hasn't paid off. So leaves him down on 365, and I'm sure he'll be very, very disappointed with that. So clean and jerks, not many successes so far. Everybody fighting for position, and at the moment, nobody really having any success.
Very surprising, because it was quite a cagey progression through the clean and jerk. I just think Rybakov's put so much pressure on the rest of the field, and essentially he's just left them with a two-medal option. I think Liu Zhang will be pretty delighted that he's still in the competition at this phase.
Well, this will give him, this will put him, you know, into an overall, give him an overall position, because he snatched 168. So this will put him on 371. Which will put him into third place overall. And it'll actually, at the moment, give him the lead on the clean and... No, it won't give him the lead. It'll put him to second place on the clean and jerk, because obviously we keep forgetting about Oliver Roos.
Boys, yeah.
No, not really happening. Well, apologies for you at home that we were unable to bring you the pictures of the clean and jerks from the B group. Not sure if we actually filmed the B group. Not sure if we even had those pictures.
Yeah, it doesn't always get coverage depending on the TV schedules. Well, we're seeing plenty of guys lifting at their maximums at the moment. They'll certainly want to be putting more in for Beijing.
It's all tactics now. It's all tactics to try and edge into either a medal on the clean and jerk or an overall medal on the total.
So Liu Zhang to follow himself out.
Well, but the weight's changing.
It's gone up to 203, is it?
It's going up to 205.
205.
And I think we're probably going to be seeing the world silver medalist Ediev coming out for his second attempt. Already succeeded with 200, which has put him on 372. Remember, snatched that 172 early in the competition for a silver. So now trying to go ahead on the clean and jerk. Now let's have a look at the significance of this. So Oliver is still leading. Now if Ediev succeeded with this lift of 205, he would actually go ahead of Oliver Roos, because he weighed an 84.18, whereas Oliver weighed an 84.69. So this would put him into the clean and jerk lead, and of course it would increase his standing in terms of second place, but he's not really going to be able to challenge for the... Oh, well, so close.
Unlucky.
Yeah, it's not really going to be able to challenge for the gold because of that 15-kilo deficit that Rybakov inflicted on him earlier on in the competition.
Still been a really good competition, though, for EDF. Lou bought himself a bit of time, decided to duck out of his last attempt on 203 into the 205 category now, along with Stratsov. EDF with one more attempt left.
Well, he's still hanging on to his sort of silver overall, and this man from Belarus is still hanging on by the skin of his teeth to his bronze medal overall. Doesn't have a medal in either of the lifts, but at the moment is in the bronze medal position on the total. But there are still quite a few men who could take that away from him. So I think he'd feel a bit better if he got this lift. If he doesn't get it, then it's all up to what other people do, whether or not he hangs on to that medal. Cleans well, jerks well. Now, if you look at that lift, I'd actually give it to him. All right, but technically, you could argue that it was a press out. So now they've got to wait and look at the lights. So, good lift, no lift. Okay, 2-1. See, again, you know, it just underlines what I've been saying. All right, not even the referees can agree whether it was a good lift or a bad lift. Personally, I think he did enough, and I think it's sad that he's got to sit back now and wait. I mean, what was wrong with that? There was nothing wrong with that lift.
Still in a medal position, but he's going to have to see if anyone can take it away.
So the tactics now. Lou going for broke, fouled on 203, and is now trying 2 kilos more, 205. So everybody really trying to get into this, get into these medals via a very large clean and jerk.
Well, the carrot is certainly there, being dangled. If somebody can pull off a lift at this weight, they will have a medal. Lou the first to try. Missed out at 203, went straight to 205, and it's too much.
No, so unfortunately the gamble has not paid off.
He's tweaked something there. It's not unusual, though, to get that pain sensation. It calms down after a little while. It's a tremendous amount of weight that you're putting on the joints, but that doesn't look too good. Well, clearly the coaching staff felt he had a shot at this, so...
Oh, he had a shot, definitely. I mean, it could have come off, and it had been in the bronze medal position over. I mean, what did he do? He did 168 on the snatch, didn't he? So that had to put him on 373. So actually, it would put him into the silver medal position. So, you know, it was a significant lift.
Now, EDF, last chance at a medal, but what a chance it is. He could put himself into very strong contention here for silver, but certainly a podium position, and he wasn't too far away with his last attempt.
Yes, I mean, as you say, he's just hanging on to that silver at the moment by the skin of his teeth. If he could actually succeed with this, it would solidify that position a little more and make things a bit more difficult for some of the other athletes.
Oh, unlucky.
Well, he's just got to hope that other people fail now and that he manages to hold on to that silver overall.
Yeah, so he and Streltsov going to have to play the waiting game. Kalencia still to come out, Kamatsin as well. And let's not forget the man that is hot favourite for gold now, Rybakov.
Well, Rybakov's next out. I was going to go to 206 kilos. And this actually would put him into the not only the gold on the snatch, not only the gold on the total that he already has, but this would put him into the gold medal on the clean and jerk as well. It's just a kilo up on Oliver Roos. And this will put him into, well, it'll be impossible to catch him if he does this.
Deliberate first phase. There we go. It's gold for Rybakov, and he knows it. And that, in the context of this clean and jerk competition, David, that's a very good lift as well.
Yes, Rubikov was a man with weaknesses, but he seems to have gone away, worked on the clean and jerk.
Could be gold, gold and gold. So Kalencia now under pressure, Kamatsin as well. And I wonder how that pressure is going to reflect on the way they perform. Remember, waiting in the wings for a possible podium place, 37-year-old Idiev, who could pick up silver, and Straltsu as well. And well, next out, this man Kalencia.
Yeah, Kalencia, I mean, he has a personal best of 215 kilos in the clean and jerk, so I mean, in theory...
This should be straightforward.
Should be pretty straightforward. Yes, won the European Championships in Strasbourg earlier on in the year.
Again, no weight belt, no supports.
Just a little check on the time. Well, no. Did everything, but wasn't in the right position under the bar. The hips were behind a bit. You know, took it to straight arms easily, but left the hips behind. And you know, when your hips aren't under the bar, directly under the bar, it's very difficult to keep 207 kilos overhead. So slightly unfortunate. I mean, that would have obviously put him into the gold medal position on the clean and jerk, and actually it would have put him into the silver medal position on the total. So pretty significant lift that, and as I say, way below his best of 200. I mean, 8 kilos below his best of 215. So you would think he would be able to put this away, wouldn't you?
Follows himself straight out.
I bet Ediev can't look.
Oh, they'll be pacing, won't they, backstage? And in the context of this competition, this is a very big lift for Kalencia, for Romania. No. Well, the young man...
Well, a missed opportunity there.
Yes, put his foot wrong there, I'm afraid. That was a big chance.
So the European champion left down in 4th place.
Well, Idiev is definitely on the podium. Will Straltsov join him? That's all down to the next man out onto the stage, Kamatsin.
Yes, Kamatsin only managed 165 on the snatch, but he's coming out now after a successful 200 for 208 kilos. And again, this would be a gold medal in the clean and jerk, and it would take him up. He's in 5th position at the moment. It would take him up into 2nd, giving him just a kilo more than Ediev. So again, Ediev sitting in there watching and thinking, am I going to be pushed into 3rd place, or am I going to hold on to my silver medal? Well, we're going to find out in a second. So 208 kilos.
In good shape with 2 attempts still left for Kamatsin.
Being coached there by David Riggott, phenomenal lifter in the past. Well, Ediev lives to fight another day, but Kamatsin still has another attempt left to try and take that gold on the clean and jerk and that silver overall.
But on that evidence, David, this weight might just be a little too much for him tonight. Well, you go through it all with the lifters, don't you? And you can just see it in their faces when they know the lift's gone. We always get this with the expert commentators alongside you in the commentary box. Little involuntary movements as the weight is being lifted, and
no, that's actually a twitch I've got, and now you've drawn attention to it, and
now you feel that. Do you wish you were out there still when you see these guys in action?
Not out there because I wouldn't want to be out there unless I could compete, and obviously I can't compete at 43. But I still do the Masters. I competed in the Masters European Championships last year.
Oh, no. Oof, dear me, that could have been dangerous. That's never a pleasant position to be in.
But it does mean that Ediev holds on to his...
That's a great performance.
Well, it means Ediev holds on to his silver medal. And medals are actually decided. And it also means that Streltsau of Belarus, who I think was given a bad decision on the 205, does actually, although he never had a medal in either lift, he does actually hold on to the overall medal. But it also means that Oliver Roos from the B group gets second place with his 205, and also Valadez from the B group manages third place on the clean and jerk with 201 by virtue of lighter body weight over Kalencia.
And it means that this man, Rybakov, gets to come out and entertain the crowd one more time, not in his favoured part of the discipline, clean and jerk. I didn't know whether he'd come out, actually, David. I thought maybe he'd just call it a day there.
All the medals are won.
He obviously wants
well,
to
the only
just
thing that
leave the crowd behind.
actually, no, this would actually...
well, we got
thinking about it, this would actually go past the world standard. This would actually be 396, so it would be a world record in the total.
Well, that was the thinking. 393 is going to have to settle for, and that's still pretty impressive. And Rybakov has turned in a fantastic competition, and surely we're looking at favourite here for Beijing.
Yes, I don't think there's anybody in the world to take this man on at the moment. He really is in a class of his own. And with that fantastic snatch, and there's confirmation. Rybakov on 206. Oliver Roos from the B group getting the silver with 205. And Valadez, also from the B group, gaining the bronze medal on the clean and jerk with 201, beating Kalencia by virtue of lighter body weight.
Continuing down through our next page. So Streltsau down there on 200 overall in that clean and jerk. Liu, disappointing competition for him in the context of this forthcoming year for the Chinese team. And that leaves the overall results looking very good indeed. So a clean sweep for this man, Rybakov, in the 85 kilogram category. And it's a pretty good performance from him ahead of Idiev. Well done to the 37-year-old to pick up that silver medal, and Kalencia with bronze. And it's going to be a pretty good fight at 85 kilos.
No, the result's wrong. That caption was wrong. Sorry about that. The caption was completely wrong there. Kalencia didn't get the bronze at all. Streltsau of Belarus got the bronze with 370. So apologies there.
No problem. Thanks for that, David. That's it for our weightlifting coverage for tonight. The guys will be back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Been a good competition, David. Enjoyed myself immensely tonight. David Goldstrom will be back, the regular David and David partnership for more Eurosport weightlifting coverage. But an enjoyable competition so far, and more to come tomorrow. Hope you can join us for that.